for Yamako about body no TV so it's just be like no subscribe to the channel me adore no so na Allan Cash na see what trendy because of saying visit or the ma JM na see uncle for GDC bia ane we fi NPP kra NPP dem yan so sama biem na afafa nton so dey den we China akodwane NDC na ene nsema ekokọ so back entisa nemom ensem bia Allan Cash go share mahama no ode to nenim bra eja election so no ye nto kra na we share nto kwa na isi political parties mu a wo hwe we akam we atim ne nsem bebrea wo hwe na ensem fata no wa che dream say wa ba so ide onyo payimpa no fa na si fam no make sure say some mistakes no also onya ye bi ma san so che ne say kon computer project a wo Ghana bebrebe na ne de nkroma breso ene de yen na ye beka wan asem but do betim no yen no ho as a president no ntimi complete bi na ntimi mo a mebun no no ntimi nye adwuma ye na mo yekuti nsem ne nyina sifa nkomode ne dia wotimi kan ya beboa Ghana for mo yekuti kakra mra
President, incoming President, Allan, you see, the national good morning.
Good morning.
Your
Welcome.
Excellency. And then good morning to you, gentlemen. And then my own, my niece, Joyce. Your Excellency, I'm here this afternoon together with my team, first to congratulate you and to commend you for your emphatic victory in the just ended general elections. It is clear from the results that you put in a lot of effort and you've been handsomely rewarded in that regard. I'm sure many Ghanaians are not aware that although we belong to different political persuasions, that we've had very good fraternal relations for many years, based on mutual respect and shared common values, and indeed also our commitment to serve our nation in humility. I am aware that you've already had the opportunity and privilege of occupying the high office of President of our country, and so you are already keenly aware of the demands of this job. However, as a brother, maybe I should use this opportunity to offer a little bit of advice. The movement for change and the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, we campaigned on two fundamental themes. One is the establishment of a government of national unity, and the other one is the prosecution of a national development agenda based on the Great Transformational Plan. Now, in respect of the first, Your Excellency, I'm sure you're all aware that our country has been seriously divided for many years because of partisanship. And unfortunately, this is robbing all of us of the benefits of our democratic credentials, which we've nurtured over so many years. And I think this ought to change. Secondly, this whole winner takes all syndrome, which has been associated with partisanship, I think is also not helping our country, because we don't have the benefit of harvesting and mobilizing the collective talent of all Ghanaians. And we should not be divided in that regard by our different political ideologies. I think that also needs to change. Thirdly, also, the lack of continuity of government projects, which again is the result of this partisanship, has also cost our nation quite a bit of money. And I think that also has to change. So I would really like, very respectfully, you to consider this whole development paradigm of how you build a government of national unity, which obviously then means that you bring together people from different political persuasions, big and small, people from other stakeholder groupings, because I think they also represent, indeed, in fact, they represent the majority of the people. So they must have a voice also in government. So that's in respect of the first pillar. The second one is the Great Transformational Plan. Your Excellency, I know that during your first term in office, you had to go to the IMF for support. Now, there's a marginal increase or a stability that comes along with being on an IMF program. So ultimately, you find that the numbers will start looking good. It's obvious that's part of the whole objective of a stabilization program. But then, at the end of the program, unless there's a program of transformation, then you are likely to slide back into instability, which is what takes you to the IMF in the first place. And so, with the Great Transformational Plan, I very respectfully like to recommend a number of priorities for your consideration, which is stabilizing the macroeconomy. I know that because of our manifesto promises, there's a lot of pressure. Everything is important, but I feel that it's the macroeconomy and the economy as a whole that basically must occupy your highest consideration. Along with this, also, I would say a prioritization of the productive sectors of our economy: industry, agriculture, and then tourism, because that speaks to the next most critical agenda for our nation, which is creating employment, particularly for the youth. Now, beyond this, also, I think, is the issue of corruption, which you've spoken about, and which robs us as a country of so much resources that we can channel into development. The next is constitutional reform. Constitutional reform that will enhance the quality of governance in our country. And I'm sure you're already aware of many of those areas that require reform. And last but not least is the issue of Galamsey, which obviously is an existential threat. It's not just a question of those living in Galamsey communities.
So when you say you Allan could maintain your John Dramani Mahama, Ghana president-elect, Wamukushia, Wamukudi, Kwamo, Efa, or Mino, Impuntu, and Nene Kanko. And also watch our subscribe to YouTube channel. Like an Afri sign, share my Afro from Monsu, a way, any bench, a meeting at your Tumanko, and that coffee from Santigudi, Macron.